What's up, Brian?
Hey, Jay.
What's going on, man?
Just hanging out, having a good time. Just
I,
waiting.
I see I see you have the cats in the Halloween spirit already.
Uh-huh. Dude, it's only 263 more days.
263 more days. I like how you knew that number off the top of your head. Like we didn't even rehearse that or anything. I
I'm,
mean,
I'm,
what do we ever rehearse? But
I mean, let's be fair. As long as nobody fact checks me, that's totally accurate.
smooth, very smooth. Well, cool. Well, I look forward to answering all these questions today. I've been a little busy and I was surprised to see the thumbnail and the headline. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing today. All right, let's do this then. So I have not I have not checked any of these cat questions.
Nice.
So I have no idea what's coming.
Well, I mean, if 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 we have a strong point, AJ, it's spontaneity. So I can't wait. I'm excited. A lot of great questions. It's a slow news day, man. This is my favorite kind of show when we just get to hang out with the cats, shoot the shit, have a good time. And everybody in the chat, you can hear AJ, right? Because
Oh God.
we had some audio
Is this how we're
issues.
starting? Is this really how we're starting today?
Because they could all troll me right now too and be like, "We can just hear you, Brian. That's it." So, all right, man, you ready to start the show?
Let's go.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching it now, you're watching it live. If you're watching it later, I don't know, just pretend, man, and leave comments as we go. It's really fun that way. My name's Brian Pop from this channel right here, PSVR without Parole, and this man over here on the right-hand side of your screen, weighing in at a slender, I don't know, man, it's AJ from the underground. He's awesome.
85 pounds.
I don't know. It's like,
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. And yeah, man, Bambino Ramos says, my TV broke right before Elden Ring came out. So pissed. Thank God for PSVR, though, letting me play without the need for a TV. Never thought about that. Being a backup TV. Dude, I've been so tempted to get Elden Ring. That is my kind of jam. Bloodborne was like my favorite, one of my favorite PS4 games besides No Man's Sky and Rocket League. And yeah, it looks so good. I might have to bite the bullet and try it when I get some time. But in the meantime, I've been having fun playing No Man's Sky and Zenith still. That No Man's Sky is that newest update is, man, I'm telling you, cats, it is incredible. I highly recommend you check it out because it's good stuff.
I've been playing a lot of retro games, if that makes anyone feel good. But that's for a different show, I'm assuming. AJ, a little bit of housekeeping. I mean, obviously, guys, if you don't already, make sure you subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Support him on Patreon, patreon.com/PSVR Underground. You can do the same over here. Make me happy by clicking that like button, subscribing to Without Parole, and supporting us on patreon.com/Without Parole Games, and getting your name on that illustrious list down below. Remember, it updates on the first of every month for the $3 or up tiers. We appreciate each and every one of you keeping this channel running. Awesome stuff. But AJ, those are the people we thank all the time. Every Friday we like to thank a little different crew of cats. Isn't that right?
That's right. We would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing their name to something GameCat, something GameCat related, or something GameCat adjacent, as you and something GameCat adjacent like to say. And this week we have two new Game Cats to welcome to the Gamecat Dojo. Starting with Serial Killer comes in like a game lion.
Bing. Yo, he wants to be the new Hotcakes. He wants to be the guy that changes his name every single week, and that's good, man, because Hotcakes is fucking slacking. So somebody's
actually. Funny that you mentioned that. I saw that Hotcakes changed his name.
What?
Yeah, I actually noticed that. I didn't remember until just now when you said that. But yeah, sorry, Hotcakes.
Oh damn! Well, maybe next week. I didn't, dude. I was looking. I didn't see any other GameCat name changes other than and this is a special one, isn't it, AJ?
It is. The other one is Oreo the actual dog, Gamecat.
Bing. Our good friend Cerebral Frost, as you guys know him, Dan from Electric Cat Games, unfortunately lost his actual dog, Oreo, this past weekend. And man, did you guys know? You guys know what it's like to lose a pet, or some of you do, and I don't. But through you guys, I do. And man, we feel for him. And so we've kind of done this new thing, starting with Flamehat, the game cat, his cat Festus. When Festus passed, we started rising names up to the rafters. We started saying, hey, you know what? Game cat name changes on Fridays are not just about the actual cats here in the audience, but we actually want to memorialize our real pets, because they're our real friends and they're our real family members, and this is the most special way we can think to do it.
Forever immortalized in the YouTube archives.
That's right. So
GamesCast Live episode 6,000 and something.
Yeah, I'm so glad we stopped numbering these things. No one has any idea, but we love you, Dan, and we hope you're doing okay. We got, before we move on, guys, don't forget, if you want your name shouted out on next Friday's Gamescast, because you changed your name to GameCat because you love us almost as much as we love you, make sure you put hashtag GameCat in the comments somewhere so I can find you nice and easy. Some of you guys want to make it real complicated, and then I never find you. But do that, and we will. GC13, the Diet Pepsi Game Cat with the $25 tip, says hashtag hire AJ, hashtag retro without parole. And I really do need to start streaming some of these games I'm playing over on the Without Parole Retro channel. If you want to join me over there, which there's been no updates for like a year. The link for that's in the description somewhere.
Hello, GC, my bestest friend ever. Hope you're doing well.
I'm not going to go as far as bestest friend.
She's the coolest, man.
She's pretty damn cool. All these cats are cool, man. We got a lot of cats hanging out in the chat. We love you guys so much, and that's why we decided to. It's not because it's a slow news day. It's because we love you so much. That's why we decided to spend this entire.
I actually had some news. I actually sent you a couple articles, and you said nope. We're spotlighting the cats today, so that's what we do it. And the good news is we'll have lots of news to talk about on Monday. So your Monday is definitely going to suck a little bit less. Believe that.
Let's hope so, unless that's still all the news we have for Monday. It's not very much. AJ, do you want to take us away on our first viewer takeover question? By the way, guys, if you don't know how to leave a viewer takeover question, you can always do it on a comment in a video somewhere by leaving a hashtag viewer takeover, but that's complicated, and who knows, maybe I won't find it when I go looking. Instead, why don't you join us over on Discord, man? Click the link in the description below. Come hang out with all the coolest cats and leave your questions in the hashtag viewer takeover channel, and that way they're all together. And trust me, somebody else will answer it long before we get to it. People love answering questions in the viewer takeover channel. It's very nice. Makes my job
All right,
easier.
the first question comes from Orseek. The tethered game cat says hashtag viewer takeover. Like a pro, is PSVR2 the last chance for VR to take off or disappear for another 20 years?
So if anyone's wondering where the question came from in the headline of the video, in the thumbnail, that's where it came from. I wasn't, we're very not doom and gloom around here, I don't think. And so it certainly wasn't us saying, this is the last chance VR has. But what do you think, AJ? Like, do you think VR is in a bad place if PSVR2 doesn't succeed?
I definitely like Sony's opportunity that they have here. I think they, of all people, of all companies, have the chance to really make some noise and really connect VR with a lot of gamers out there, even more than Facebook. And I think they have the biggest opportunity to, get more people familiar with VR, get the big AAA titles, get more headsets sold than anyone else out there because they have the games. So that's the kind of way I look at it. Is I just feel like they have the biggest opportunity to push VR really far forward, even more so.
Yeah,
but I don't think so. I don't think it's the end of VR. No, it would just remain more niche and still be a slow crawl kind of.
Yeah, when you say things like, they have this tremendous opportunity ahead of them, they have this stable of IPs to pick from. They have all these different talented developers who can make VR games. And so they have this tremendous opportunity. It's because of that if PSVR2 somehow fails or super under delivers somehow, I get nervous because it's theirs for the taking, right?
Right.
Quest is great. It definitely has an audience. There are people who absolutely love their Quest, but it's such a good entry into VR. It's a good gateway drug. It's like, here's your inexpensive option to get in, find out that you love it, and then when you go, but where where are the big games that I'm looking for? Where's the next that big Horizon game everyone's talking about? If Sony doesn't get a chance, isn't able to deliver, it's a little bit scary because it's like, well, where does that leave us? Like, do we go back to everybody doing mobile headset stuff again, and keep our fingers crossed that everyone's got a high-powered PC, or do we just hope that Nintendo wants to get in on the game, or Microsoft gets in on the game? Because I really do think that consoles are what really saved video games for a very long time, and I think consoles are what will save VR. I know a lot of people don't believe that VR is in a bad place even slightly, but I'm not so optimistic about that. You guys know that I have a video out there called "How PlayStation VR2 Will Save VR," and I think that kind of gets into a little bit more of the nitty gritty about where I think VR is right now, and I don't think it's in the best place.
Yeah, it certainly could be better, but like I said, I'm like you, man. That's what makes me nervous. Is like this is the VR. I know they're capable of delivering the VR experience that I want, because I've loved PlayStation for so long, and I have loved VR for the last whatever years. And PlayStation's what introduced me to VR, and so I'm just really, really invested in their involvement, because I have a long history with their games and their experiences. So I'd like to keep it at that if possible. I think there's a fair balance of tech and software that I think is just like strikes the perfect match for me. But yeah, I don't think it would be absolutely devastating if they screwed this up, and I think they do have a lot of pressure on them to get this right. But it is also it's also tricky because they are having, just with the console itself, they're still having some hurdles to get through. So for me, I just tell myself, I've waited this long. Oops, sorry. I tell myself, I've waited this long, and I'll just continue to be as patient as needed. Understanding that there are things that are going on in the world that are bigger, and I just have to try and be patient as possible, even though it gets really, really tough sometimes. There's also lots of bright spots that cheer me up in the meantime as well.
Yeah, it's super easy to get selfish and be like, we have our PlayStation 5s, everyone else fend for themselves. It's whatever. As Great Tantrum puts it in the comments, he writes, the main danger for PSVR2 is the lack of PS5s in the market, as many people can't find and buy one. And Sony's well aware of that, man. Like that is, everything I've ever heard from anybody for the last year plus, even before PS5 came out. Whenever I pushed about PlayStation VR2, all anyone said was, Sony's got to have a successful launch first. Like, they need to make sure that this thing that's going to allow people to buy PlayStation VR2s is successful. And so absolutely, that is going to be the message.
I do feel like they need to make a lot of improvements as well. I mean, I already went on a rant, so I'm not going to do it again. But on Friday's episode, I went on a long rant about their marketing and some of these opportunities. They really haven't executed some of the support that I would like to have seen, like, something I've always known PlayStation for doing and supporting a bunch of developers. And there's a lot of improvements, stuff like the headset being shown in the blog. I don't know if that means they're trying to get ahead of leaks, if that means that they're I was definitely curious why there wasn't like a big showcase event to show it. Is the design not finalized? Are they trying to get feedback? Is this because the PS5 supply shortage? There's so many variables playing into it right now that it is like honestly been harder than ever to predict what is happening behind the scenes and why it's happening.
Yep.
And really the only thing we can go off is by just inside info that we have.
Peter the Underground Gamecat on Parole with the $2 tip says, I still want AJ's Spawn VR headset concept. Hashtag VR
Nice.
killer. You posted a picture of that in Discord. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty classic, man.
It's again, it was weird to me. Like I like the two-tone. I like the way the headset looks overall, but it did feel a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing. Like I'm used to them always having some kind of bold design or something, and it was a little bit different than what I'm used to. It just looks like just a blank headset. So I don't know if that's for like to be able to replace the faceplates with your own thing, to be able to customize your faceplate how you want, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, my pronunciation's terrible. How do we pronounce this guy's name? Is it Yoao Victor? I don't know. Maybe you'll see him in the comments. It says, how many PSVR2s do you think Sony will be able to sell by the end of the generation? 5 million, same as PSVR? 10 million, 20 million, or more?
Oh, by the end of the generation, 25 million.
I think it's gonna be shocking.
You heard it here
numbers.
first.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be higher. I think it's gonna be shocking numbers. I think people are gonna be really impressed by this tech. I think people are gonna be really happy with the quality of games that are available for it. I think we're gonna see them surpass the $6 million. What is that? It's fucking $6 million, man. That's a different thing altogether. We're PSVR 1's around 6 million right now, and I think we're gonna see them surpass that shortly after launch. Like within the launch period, I think they're gonna sell 6 million and beyond. That number will just continue to grow. By the end of the generation, it's a good question. I would say easily 25 million, but
yeah, by the end. 25.
As long as PS5 continues to dominate, as long as as long as Sony
right.
continues to deliver AAA games and finds ways to allow third parties to make the AAA hybrid games that we've talked about before, as long as all of that, if that all comes together, that'll be the perfect VR storm. This is the thing we've been waiting for a really long time. We haven't had that yet. PC VR's had the power, Quest has had the convenience, but no one's has really taken the IPs and the power and put it all together into one. And I think we're about to see that.
Yeah, it does depend on how many PS5s they end up selling to, and at some point things are going to start to clear up. They're going to be hitting the stores, the shelves, and everything. And yeah, I mean, if it really depends on how many PS5s they could sell, because while standalone and stuff and PC VR have their advantages, you're looking at potentially. I mean, you're tapping into one of the largest, if not the largest, player base that is around. So they have more potential to sell more than anybody else.
Yeah. And it's funny. I actually read Joao Victor's tip before he put it in tip form. So you didn't have to do that, man. But thank you very much. I appreciate the donation. We also get Sunny in VR with the £1 tip. Didn't say anything, but if you have something to say, let us know. Next question comes from Solid Snake over on Discord. It's hashtag viewer taker over Hybrid and AJ. There have already been lots of discussions about backwards compatibility for PSVR2, but I was thinking about another possibility. During the first period of a new console, the first year or two, most games are published for both last gen and current gen of the consoles. Won't this be happening for PSVR and PSVR2? Probably. Are we in the same situation with PSVR 2 and 1 as we are with PlayStation 5 and 4?
I don't think so. I don't think so. There could be some, but I feel like, yeah, I mean, in a way, yes, but I think once PSVR 2 gets going, I think that's where all the focus is going to go to. And the thing is there's not this sustained player base on PSVR Gen 1 like the PS4 has. PS4 has and PS3, there was a growth to them. I think PS3 was what, 55 million is what they ended with, and
I don't know.
it was like 55 million, and then 110 million for PS4. The PSVR user base has definitely shrunk some. So there's going to be a little overlapping stuff, but I think we're already seeing some of that. I think stuff like Hitman, Moss Book 2, Zenith. There's going to be games that get these upgrades, and I think these are going to flourish on PSVR2. But yeah, there's the active player base is just not as strong enough to maintain that or support developers for much longer on PSVR Gen 1.
Yeah, I do think that we're going to see a ton of PSVR1 to PSVR2 upgrades. I think we're going to see that very frequently. But as far as like just, straight up being like, here's Horizon Forbidden West on PS4 and PS5 launch day kind of thing, I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of developers be like, yep, here it is. It's on your PSVR1 and PSVR2 headset day one. I think we are getting a slower and slower trickle of PSVR1 releases throughout this last year of PlayStation VR1, and I think, I mean, there's a reason for it, right? It's not just like, oh, everyone's excited about PSVR2. It's because people have kind of moved on already, right? It's less about people's excitement for PSVR2 and it's more about people's lack of excitement for PSVR1. And so really at this point, trying to shoehorn like, a current gen game, something that's a little bit more ambitious than some of the stuff we've seen on PSVR1, trying to shoehorn that into PSVR1 just because you have it on PSVR2 seems counterproductive, expensive, time consuming, and I think a lot of studios don't have the manpower for things like that, especially when they're not going to sell well, right?
Yeah, Mike Kelly says too big of a gap in my own. And assuming you mean tech, yeah, that's what I would totally agree. The PSVR 1 was very much experimental and like kind of like experimental, and it is drastically different from how the tech has evolved now. Now, PSVR 2 to PSVR 3,
Totally.
Now I could see there being some overlap because there's going to be a little bit more in common with the tech and the hardware and everything. But yeah, the PSVR 1 was definitely like a huge experimental thing, and it accomplished quite a bit. But the tech is just leaps and bounds ahead for it to sustain itself for the next few years.
Imzadi says, "I don't want cross-gen. Let's just go all out PSVR 2." I think it's time, man. We need to take that step into the next generation, and really show people what PSVR 2 is capable of.
After PSVR 2 comes out, right now, give me all the PSVR 1 I can handle.
Absolutely,
I'm having a blast over here, man. But yeah, once PSVR 2 comes out, then it's moving forward from there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This, the other thing is that the things that are going to be able to make PlayStation VR2 games run, like eye tracking and foveated rendering, things like that are just like not possible really on PlayStation VR1 in the way that they need to be integrated or implemented. That's going to make all the difference in the world. Not having the ability to do those kind of things in some different hardware rendering tricks, texture rendering tricks. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's something that's just not available for PSVR 1 right now.
I mean, even with the flat screen games, there's been stuff that is, there's been times where the previous gen has been held back. I'm sorry, the like next gen hardware has been held back by previous gen hardware, and people typically don't like that. I know that's it's okay to do that for like a year or two, couple years, but yeah, at some point you gotta cut the cord and move forward with and really take advantage. People are buying newer hardware because they want the bigger, better experiences and gaming. They don't want to be constrained to the previous limitations of the previous hardware on the new stuff.
Yeah. PBO Kojima on Discord asked, hashtag viewer takeover, what was your first PSVR game you were surprised that it could run in VR?
No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I mean a lot of games, but I think No Man's Sky, although like I just didn't believe it. I didn't think it could ever happen. And then like, that was a game I always said I would go out and buy. If I didn't own a PlayStation VR, I would have gone out and bought one just for No Man's Sky. Because again, that was one of my favorite games on PS4. And yeah, that was a huge surprise.
Yeah. I mean, it goes without saying, Resident Evil 7 was such an early title that was so close to what you were seeing on the flat screen that it sort of set me up for failure for an entire generation of VR. I was like, wow, Capcom could do it, right, on the same disc. Just they just convert it to PSVR. I was like, it's like they flipped a switch or something. I was like, this is great. This must mean that every big first person AAA game coming out could certainly have PSVR support moving forward, and that wasn't the case, and it set me up for some really big disappointments early on. I was like, where's BioShock? Where's, when RE2 Remake was coming out, even knowing that was third person, I was still like, there's got to be a first person mode in VR. It's got to happen. And so yeah, Resident Evil 7, unfortunately, to a fault, was the answer for that one.
I really look forward. I want to get Crysis, man. I'm a big fan of Crysis 1 and 2, and I would love to get those on PSVR 2. And the first thing is you get that trophy that pops that says, can it run Crysis in VR? That would be super sweet. But yeah, I think the biggest surprise as well is that it's kind of answering the same question, but in a different way. I was surprised later on how good PS4 and PSVR could look. Not the OG, obviously, but on PS4 Pro and PS5, stuff like No Man's Sky, stuff like Dreams, Skyrim. After it got the update, I did see a lot of people say Skyrim, which kind of beat No Man's Sky to the punch by a few years. But I didn't know that the headset could actually look as good as it can. Because of just the limitations were actually on the guts of the PlayStation 4. So that was a nice surprise as well. There's some games that like Hitman 3 is like crystal clear. And I'm like, I didn't know this was possible. Right. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's shocking. We were all very much expecting, well, they're either going to kill the detail in the world or just make it really blurry. One of the two is going to happen. And when neither happened, like, what the fuck? Like, this is absolutely insane. This shouldn't even be possible. Pretty cool. Though.
Wipeout, yeah, that's another good example.
There's so many good examples, but if we're going by the first one, Resident Evil 7 was like very shortly after the launch.
Right.
Mike Kelly VR says, I would love Skyrim on PSVR2, honestly. LOL, don't kill me, please. I'm
with it.
I'll absolutely take Skyrim yet again on next-gen VR hardware. Absolutely.
I would too. I would too. I loved it. VR is the best way to play Skyrim, hands down.
We got a tip from Emily Baxter, but coincidentally, the tip she sent and on our run of show, she was the next question. So her tip said GT7 from virtual to reality tease, but the full question over on Discord was #viewer takeover. With the GT7 video posted yesterday, do you think Sony is hinting about PSVR2? The title of the video is From Virtual to Reality. Wink, wink, nod, nod. What a fucking tease, man.
It's not fair.
Sony's got to be trolling us. There's no way you just accidentally do that, right?
They have trolled us a lot in the past, haven't they? I just haven't seen this new regime troll us, so I don't know. Like they're a little. I would like to think so, but I feel like the old regime would tease us a lot. Maybe this regime is coming around to it and starting to do it too. We've had a lot of trolls in the past by Sony. So it wouldn't really surprise me if they know what they were doing here. Because as we all know, we expect Gran Turismo 7 to be like a launch game for PSVR 2, and it comes out in next week. Right. I'm not saying that PSVR 2 is coming out next week, obviously, but
you heard it here first.
Maybe after. I'm wondering if after that game comes out, if then we maybe get like a showcase or something prior to GDC. I've still been wondering about that. Yeah. It would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like they're dragging their feet on PSVR2 announcements, and then they do things like, call the video series From Virtual to Reality. I'm like, somebody over there is giggling, whether it was intentional from the higher ups, whoever was just creating the video was like,
so man,
somebody's giggling.
I don't think so. I don't know. It just seems really different. We've had these expectations of, Sony's going to show us VR. Mm-hmm. Sony's going to show us VR here and there and everywhere, and then they don't. And then when we finally like give up, then they give us something. Like, it's just weird, man. I don't know. I think I think they don't have their Western marketing down. I think a lot of their planning and stuff comes from corporate level and stuff. And I don't know. Well, again, understanding that they're dealing with other things as well, so they're not ready to show. Even on they just showed us the headset recently, and literally like 20% of my questions on my video, which was a small amount of the actual mainstream audience, were like saying, I don't even have a PS5 yet. So you got to think that's just from my channel. Like imagine what the actual masses of people. But yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, I mean the thing is I don't. I think the important thing to note is that we're not gonna see. We're not gonna just start seeing random and God, I could be totally wrong about this because Jesus, Sony is always doing surprising things, especially this gen. And the news is always coming from surprising places, whether it be an interview in GQ magazine or on the blog post or whatever, man. It never seems to be like the biggest splash they could make. But I just don't think that we're going to start seeing, and here's a video about Gran Turismo in VR. And here's a video about Resident Evil Village in VR. I think it's got to be, there's got to be one big event coming up where it's going to be, hey, we showed you the headset, we showed you the logo, now let's show you some games, and really just kind of like one after another after another after another. There's a reason Capcom's not talking about VR support. There's a reason different developers aren't talking about VR support. There's a reason we don't know what a bunch of well-known studios are doing, is because they've got deals with Sony, and they're going to be part of that presentation, right? And so and as far as I've been told, that presentation kind of keeps getting pushed off a little bit here and there, and until they're finally ready to say, okay, and here's the date and here's everything else. So and so until that happens, I wouldn't expect anything until that does happen. Now, I don't know if that's going to be its own presentation or a state of play or whatever. Everyone's saying that next month's state of play is the big one, but is the big one Ragnarok? Or is the big one Ragnarok and PSVR2? Like, and just like, hey, since we have your attention with God of War, let's also do this thing too.
I definitely feel like there's room for some Call of the Mountain in that presentation.
Oh God, yeah.
I really
to answer a lot
of
people's questions, right?
Yeah. All I know is that I would be incredibly disappointed if there is no showcase like that. If they stick to PlayStation blogs, there was. Even with the, as happy as I am to see the headset and everything finally, I definitely could have used that in a showcase, a YouTube reel. I mean, some of their stuff they're promoting on YouTube is like indie, like, these small little indie games that, and stuff. And for like to not even promote your hardware, like it just doesn't make any sense to me. So it's definitely one of the more confusing times for me. But yeah, I really hope they do something along the lines of the PS5 showcase, because that was incredible. I mean, they came out, they showed us games, they gave us teases, and then they showed the thing at the end. I mean, I'm wondering where some of that magic went for this headset, for the PSVR2 headset. And
let me ask you a question, AJ. Let me be the viewer takeover question. Would you have preferred that we didn't see the controllers last year, that we didn't see the headset earlier this week, that we didn't see, that we didn't get the logo? Because I
would have preferred a showcase.
Hold on. I haven't asked you the question yet. Mm-hmm. Would you prefer that they held all of that off for your showcase, your desired showcase, the one we all are like chomping at the bit for, right? Where they hit you over the head with the logo, they hit you over the head with the headset, and then they hit you over the head with 20 games? Or are you happy that they're actually drip feeding us information to keep the excitement level up? Because I think that I don't think you get both. I don't think you get showcase for the logo, showcase for headset, showcase for this, and then showcase for games. I don't think that's not how hype works. Right? It's like so I think it's one or the other. And so would you have preferred that we've got no information until a big showcase where they held it all off?
Well, I don't think that's entirely true, because they did the CES thing where Jim Ryan came out on stage and just announced the name. Yeah. And again, why would you do a bigger showcase for announcing the name and
Well, you also got
announcing
Horizon.
yeah, and the
That
game.
was
But
big.
we got 15 seconds of
Yeah.
Horizon. So like I just don't know like why wouldn't they have done that? Obviously they can do that in some way, shape, or form. So if you want to stick to the events that are already scheduled that are usually in your rotation, yeah, I'm totally okay with that. But when those events come, you hit those events with a with a big bang.
Yeah.
I don't think what they're doing is. I think it's okay. Like I'd rather have these blog posts letting they had to let us know that this shit was coming
Yeah.
because, but
Because I would have been gone like a year ago.
oh
I
yeah
would have
yeah
been like, guys, I'm gonna start covering Nintendo DS games because they're fucking amazing.
yeah they would have had to do it. I just um I think they're definitely ramping up for it, but it's not been the most enjoyable. Like it hasn't been the most enjoyable time though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference between slowly trickling out and building up, and then announcing that there's a next gen headset coming, and then not saying anything for a year. Like there's a difference here. This isn't as organized. This isn't like, this exciting hype buildup. It's a lot of like, hey, we finally get excited by this little bits of news, and then it's back to just like waiting and just waiting and waiting. At least this year, I like what they're doing a little bit more this year.
Yeah.
With January kicks off, they announced PlayStation VR2 or whatever. What was it? Last month was it? I guess that was last month. And then now this time, did we get something before the headset shown? We did, right? Didn't we get
I
something
mean,
or no?
at CES,
That was it.
They
It
revealed
was
the
just that.
specs. They
Yeah.
did the logo
Okay.
in Horizon, and that's what we've
If they
gotten.
keep
Yeah.
okay, well, if they keep this going, then I'm totally cool with that.
Well,
Like as long as like
if they keep this going, right? I love that
Yeah.
you said that because last year, around this time, we were like, "Oh my god!" Last month they just told us that PSVR2 is coming in a blog post, and then now they just showed us the controllers. It must be really close, and we were like, "Oh, they did it this month, and then next month, and then I bet for the rest of the year they're gonna drip feed shit." And then, like you said, they went silent, and so
Yeah.
and so like, are they just like are we in for like a long wait again? Are we in like 6 months until pre-orders open, guys?
we could be. We could be, man.
Yeah.
We could hear something next month, or we could hear something a year from now. Like that's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. The communication hasn't been the greatest, so it's not being executed as well as it could. But like I said, I'm confident that we're going to get what we want in the end.
Yeah.
So I don't really. So at the end, that really doesn't matter to me. But it would be nice. It would make the wait more fun and something to look forward to.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think right now, I think right now they're speaking. These blog posts are for us and for VR enthusiasts.
Definitely.
It's not for the general populace. It's not for gamers
No.
at large. It's for VR people. And so,
But when the time comes, if they ramp that up into those showcases, I'll be super happy. Like
Yeah.
once we get our showcases with the PlayStation VR2, with the the PlayStation VR2 state of plays and everything, all this stuff, I will be totally happy once we start getting those. I understand that there's other hurdles they have in place, and there's probably several valid reasons for them doing the way they've been doing it. This isn't just them. There's got to be a reason. Like it's not for nothing.
right. Josh76 over on Discord asks, #viewer takeover, what do you think the main reason Sony chose to make the wire hardwired instead of removable? Cost of manufacturing or something else?
Maybe cost and durability.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely an area of contention right now. People are split on it. People understand that if that connection breaks, then you're kind of SOL with your headset, and you need to send it in for repair.
Yeah.
And but so if it's more durable, great. But if that's the case and it can break and then you can't replace the cable easily, well, then it sucks.
the V1 headset had, it had like the control panel thing dangling from it.
Oh, yeah,
And I
the
think it was
dongle.
more, yeah, I think it was more susceptible to being like damaged because it's like had that constant weight on it.
Yeah.
It had more a chance of being damaged from right here. The rest of the damaged cables all usually came from like someone's dog or something chewing through it, dog or cats chewing through it. So yeah, the one single cable solution should help make that easier for those people to just, for people that have rabid animals for pets, need to just wrap it.
Some
wrap
days
it
I
up
think
and put it
tornadoes
away.
rabid. I'm a little concerned.
Go get your pet next time they do that. Go take them to the vet. They'll never do it again.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see if this hardwire deal will make it into the final model, because they said a lot of things in the PlayStation
I
blog,
think so.
but they've never said it's going to be hardwired. They've shown these pictures, obviously, but things have changed. They've said that the design may change, that nothing's final, and we saw the controllers change since the last time we saw them. Not dramatically, but the color scheme has, and I think we'll actually see how the straps work on the orbs or the sense controllers. Because right now you don't even see the straps hanging from them. I don't know if there's going to be like some kind of hand strap, or if it's just going to be like the regular wrist strap. How it's all going to work, who knows? And so there could be tweaks to all of this, especially if Sony hears the outcry that people aren't happy about the hardwired wire. So I don't know what the answer is, Josh. To be honest with you, I just know that I just really hope Sony's listening, because it sounds like people would prefer to have a separate USB-C cable, especially since we don't know how long this cable is. A lot of people are going to want to use a pulley system and wire this thing above, and the thing that's keeping a lot of people from doing that right now is the length of the cable to begin with. So I think for a multitude of reasons, having it detachable would be better, and hopefully Sony hears us on that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know if one's better than the other. I feel like there's I do think it would be more user friendly, but it could also cause a bunch of other issues as well. So there's no guarantee that would be better. I think the real debate is really just between there being a wire and there not being a wire. And the VR chat channel, my buddy Jason, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Says, plus not everyone has 5G, and who knows if they could utilize the Wi-Fi 6. Right. If you were to use wireless and if it were to bounce off your router, I mean, I would think that if it was wireless, it would communicate directly to the system. Maybe they would both have to use, I'm guessing he's talking about how current wireless is being used, which is like, both are connected to the same router, and it has to be Wi-Fi, or most of them have to be like Wi-Fi 6 to have a solid connection. But
okay, you get off the track. I thought we were still on the hardwired conversation, and
yeah,
I
don't know. From what I know, whenever somebody's had an issue, they've sent it in and it's been repaired and sent back, and they go, "Oh, that was pretty easy." So. Yes, it sucks. It's not as easy to replace as a detachable cable. But
yeah. Zombie 5150 says, I disagree. I'm more worried about the port on my phone going bad from charging and neglect.
All those drunk asses out there trying to plug in the headset and messing it up.
I mean, I will say by the end of every phone that I have, by 4 years in or so, it's always a little bit of a struggle to get it to be charging properly. So like that connection is, putting the cable in, pulling the cable out, putting the cable in, pulling it out, could definitely wear and tear there. Wally is now a Gamecat, specifically a white tiger. What's up with the Canadian? $5 says, hey guys, I think the reveal was low key as design is low key. A big event for a simple design would also be weird. My guess is price will be competitive. Dude, I think you're absolutely right about that as well. I do think that if, just like remember when at that GDC event where Shuhei revealed the PSVR1, if they did that at an event, like, this thing is not super sleek. It doesn't look generations beyond PSVR1. It looks very similar to a PSVR1. I don't think there'd be a in the crowd when it got revealed. It would just be like, oh, okay, that's nice.
The design is pretty low key. It's pretty simplistic, and it's not this crazy surprise like you said.
Yeah. If it
It's
was
good
goggles,
reasoning.
if it was like straight up like slim goggles that are just like super tiny and super sleek and futuristic, they'd be like, we're fucking doing this in front of people because we want to hear the gasp from the fucking crowd. But they're like, there's no one's gonna gasp for this.
It's pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people really like. Some people think it looked really great though. I mean, it's like old Darth was saying, different strokes, man. Some people really like that design.
I like the design. I think it looks crazy comfortable, and when it's on, like, dude, I'm still surprised. When I think it looks. When I think really it looks think more
practical. Sorry.
Sure, practical. When I really think about it, when I put my PSVR1 headset on, when I'm conscious of it and I put it on, and I think I'm like, this really is like the most comfortable headset on the face of the planet. It's like, it doesn't feel like it's there. It's like there's no weight hanging down in front. I mean, and then I put on my Quest and I was like, this is so fucking uncomfortable. And everyone's like, oh, you need to get a better strap. Dude, I've tried it. It's still not like PSVR1. So this is, I mean, but again, you're right, different strokes, but I don't think it's wowing even the people who are happy with it. I'm happy with it, but I'm not wowed by it. So, Reth1142 writes hashtag viewer takeover. How likely do you think it is that PSVR2 will have backwards compatibility for first-gen PSVR games? I know we've answered this question a lot, but I think, but what do you think? What do you think the possibility, or what do you think the probability is for backwards compatibility? No patches, no patches. It just works.
Like I said before, man, I think the PlayStation 5 is already backwards compatible with the PSVR1 headset. I think we're going to rely on a lot of developers to give us a free upgrade, or maybe in some cases, hopefully not a paid upgrade. I think we're going to get a lot of remasters for games, and quite frankly, that's what I would prefer personally. I don't see any reason for some of these games not to be remastered. They're amazing games, and I agree. The PSVR has an amazing library. You know, I like to think of it as the best VR library of any headset. And it'd be a shame if a lot of people don't get to play these games. But would you really be mad about not getting to play the PSVR 1 version when you get to play a PSVR 2 remaster instead? Because I think it's worth playing the remaster. But I get it, man. I get it. Backwards compatibility is always this thing that is like, you know, people always talk about, but you don't always see it being backed up with the numbers. So
yeah, I think Sony's full of shit whenever they say that. They're like, it's something that we always hear a lot of, but only 10% of people actually use it. I'm like, guess what? Only 6% of people bought your fucking VR headset. So so how about you start paying attention to the 10% as well, motherfuckers? Listen,
I just don't.
I think it would be smart for them to be like, hey, you know, like, absolutely, like, if you've got a PSVR 1 game out there, absolutely give you the chance to remaster it or do whatever you want, give us an upgrade, whatever, right? But at the same time, I think it would be awesome to be like, hey, you own a PSVR 1 and you want to play these things out of the gate, hold on to your DualShock 4, hold on to your Move controllers, and the cameras from the headset will track those lights. It's still light tracking, even if it's, you know, inside out light tracking. It's a little different, but infrared instead of actual light. But it's still possible. Or by all reports, it could still be possible if Sony wants to put the work in and make that a thing. So I think that I think that it would behoove them to say, hey, there's developers out there, man, that have gone out of business since PSVR1 launched, since they put out their PSVR1 game. And so we can't rely on these developers to give us a patch to make it playable on PSVR2, because some of those developers don't exist anymore. And so for the sake of video game preservation, which I know no one cares about anymore, 10% of people, I think it's important that we hold on to our Move controllers and these games play the exact same way they played on PSVR1. And if we get a patch, it's like, sweet, we got a patch. Everything's great. We get to use our Sense controllers. We got 4K. Everything's awesome. But I think it'd be nice.
What I can tell you is right now, I don't think the headset is just backwards compatible at all. Right now, I don't think that's the case. I think they would have. Don't you think they would have said something about it? Just like how I think they would have said something about the cable being detachable. I think they would have also said, backwards compatible. I mean, everybody. That's the first thing everybody asks. Is it backwards compatible? And they kind of just ignore it. And so unless there is some software or something being designed at this time that could maybe potentially remap the controllers to the orbs, I don't think so, man. I think we saw from the Dev Summit that they are focused on remasters and hybrids, and I think they said that for a reason.
Maybe. Don't sell your Move controllers yet, guys, just in case.
I'm not selling shit. I'm keeping my PSVR1. That's the thing. Is like, it sounds a bit snooty, but I mean, is it wrong that I think to myself a little bit that I'm like, you have the ability to play PSVR1 games right now if you want to play them in 1080.
Listen,
and you want to play them with moves. I agree with game preservation, but I don't know, man. Am I wrong in thinking that? Like in the deep down in my heart, like, hey, I've played every game, like, and you should too.
Listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but like, I'm living in a 480 square foot apartment, right? Like, there are wires crisscrossing my apartment floor. It is absolutely insane here. My entertainment center is a mess, and half of that has to do with the breakout box and all the fucking shit that's connected to the PlayStation and the camera and everything else, right? I want to be able to at least get rid of that, right? And at least be able to deal with only one headset. Right. And so I would like to simplify things a little bit. I am the world's biggest retro gamer on the face of the planet, and I still hate having different retro systems hooked up all the time. I've been begging Sony to be like, because I see Imzadi in the chat saying people have to stop living in the past. Why get next gen if we always pander to the last gen? Because last gen or the gen before, or the gen before, or the gen before, or the gen before that, those were pretty fucking awesome too. Right. It's like, why take pictures of your family? Who cares, right? Why care about memories of the past? Why enjoy the thing, right? I know I went a little hard on that one. They're gonna die. No, they're gonna die. You know what? Fuck them. Have some kids. Have some kids and pay attention to your kids. Fucking forget about the dead people in your life. No,
you know what? Maybe it has to do a person by person bias thing because guess what? I have a PS5 in my office right here. I have in my bedroom a PS4 Pro. Downstairs, I have a PS3. Like I keep all my old systems now. And yeah, I mean, if I wanted to play my Wii U, I can go and take out my Wii U and plug it in. But I just don't want to play my Wii U right now.
Yeah,
I want to play on my PS5 and
what a pain in the fucking ass, dude. Like, I mean, dude, I'm surrounded with retro games, man. It's like, and I dread having to go hook up the system to play them. Like, simplicity.
It's looking nice back there, by the way. It's looking really organized,
dude. I'm
really nice.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm proud of myself. I turned the back half of my living room into a literal video game library. It looks like a library behind me. There's like shelves in front of shelves, dude, I'm very happy. It's the only clean spot in my apartment, but I'm very happy that it exists. Dude,
I don't want to play a PSVR1 game on PSVR2 and it be fucking blurry and have issues. Like, I guess that's the thing is I understand that there's some games that, I don't know. I don't want to have nice hardware to play old blurry stuff.
Well, then don't play the old blurry stuff.
I think moving forward, I could see it being a lot easier. Like I said, again, one of those cross-generational things.
Yeah.
I think with PSVR1, it's a little bit different. I think it's just such a experimental phase that it's just drastically different, and the tech is way different. But anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Peter Taylor says AVGN is the biggest retro gamer. And then he quotes Cybermorph and says, "Where did you learn to fly?" Listen, dude, I beat Cybermorph, so I don't know about I don't know about James Rolfe, man. I think I might have one up on James Rolfe, although he is an awesome YouTuber. Wally is now with GameCat, specifically a White Tiger, Canadian $2 tip, says Sony should aggressively promote closer to launch. Yes, I agree. I'm not saying I love what they're doing now. I don't, right? But I am saying I kind of understand it. Snacks, please. The heightened emotional response GameCat with the $5 tip says, The reveal has gotten me all hardwired. Happy Friday, y'all.
I love the heightened emotional response, GameCat. I love it.
It's a great
That
name.
is gold.
Have we not given you a shout out for that? That is fantastic.
He might have just changed it, but
Maybe.
yeah.
Then we got Ryan, Let's Go Sports Team, over on Discord with the hashtag Viewer Takeover. Will the hybrid approach be impacted later in the console lifecycle when games are designed to push the hardware to the limit? It might be harder to scale down. Interesting.
I gotta read that again.
Right, so right now on PlayStation 5, games aren't pushing the PS5 to the limits, and so it's so if we have hybrid games, PlayStation 5 games that are also playable in VR, it's not exactly taxing the system. It's not pushing the PS5 to the limits. But when we get later in the lifespan, when we get to the Last of Us games, when we get to the games that are really pushing the hardware and saying, well, we didn't even know PS5 was capable of this, will that make hybrid games a tougher model to?
That's kind of a good question. I mean, let me look in my crystal ball. Ask again later. You're muted. They can't hear you. Well, that's a weird time for that to happen. No audio. Maybe it's both of us. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me at all? Brian is muted. What about AJ? Is AJ muted? No sound, guys. Brian went silent. Sony could write a virtual rip audio. Is it mime? I guess. Oh, they can. It sounds like they can hear me. Maybe it's back. It's back. I was good. Now you're back. Yeah, they could hear me. Now you're. What the fuck just happened? What was that all about? Oh, they said, yeah. I'm so confused. Snap Who with the 199 donation while Brian gets this sorted says no backwards compatibility would be insane for real. I don't know, man. I look, backwards compatibility would be a mic drop moment for Sony, obviously. That would be an easy mic drop moment that would get people really, really excited. But I just don't know, man. Yep, the one man show now. Let's go. I mean, I can hear Brian, but you guys can't. So, you guys are lucky if you think about it. You're actually kind of lucky, the lucky ones here. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. What? Okay, he's fixing something real quick, and then we're gonna get on to 20 questions. But I'm really glad. What do you guys want to talk about while we wait? Just a minute. Just thank you for being patient. This is the thing.
I think it's 20 questions time, AJ.
I do believe it is time for 20 questions. It is my pick. I have a game picked out. Thank you guys for sticking around and while we had that little technical issue. Happens. Technology. You got to love it. All right. So I am ready, Brian, when you are.
Oh yeah, I should probably put the timer up on the. I thought I was gonna be all ready to go here, but let me put the timer up on the thingamabob.
The cats were trying to cheat. They were trying to. They were trying to get some questions in while you were gone.
Oh really?
You didn't say the magic word.
Is that your Dennis Nedry? Love it. All right, here we go. On your mark, get set, go. There it is. Does it have aim support?
It does not have aim support.
Oh, it's always good when it does, and it always sucks when it doesn't. Did this developer make more than one PSVR game?
This developer, I don't believe so. No. I would say no. Did not make another PSVR game.
All right.
I will fact check that, though.
Chair faces, are you guys doing bong hits off screen? Nah, man, we'll do that fucking on screen. Like, we don't have to hide that shit from you. It's legal here, man. I don't know if it's legal where you are. Okay, do you control... Oh, I'm sorry. Do you shoot things in this game?
You do not really shoot things. No, you don't shoot things in this game.
Okay. Is there melee combat?
No, I'd say no.
Okay,
There's not melee combat.
No shooting, no punching. Ian Stanbridge. Does it have full locomotion?
It does not have full locomotion. That's 5.
Okay, no full loco. So the question is, when there's no full locomotion, that leaves either teleportation, or a game you stand still in, or no teleportation. Let's keep that in the back of our minds, guys. Is it a puzzle game? I see a couple people asking.
It is not a puzzle game.
All right, no puzzle. Let's just figure this out. Are you just standing still in this game? In other words, no teleportation, just you stand where you're standing.
Pretty much yes. I'm gonna say yes.
For the most part.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, Braxbro, is there a flat screen version of this game?
There's not a flat screen version of this game.
Okay. Do you control vehicle? No, I'm not going to ask that question. You know why? Because you wouldn't be standing still and in a vehicle, right?
Right.
So
sure.
Let's not ask that question. Is this a job sim style game where you're tasked with that kind of like menial task sort of thing? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Not a job sim style game.
Okay. That gets rid of counterfight. It gets rid of all the sims. Is there multiplayer in this game? I like that.
There is not multiplayer in this game.
Okay, that gets rid of Beat Saber, etc. Has it ever been in the top 25? Good question, JC.
Yes, it has been in the top 25 before.
Ooh, okay. That's good. That's good news. So that answers Niles Ryan Game Felines question. It does not suck. O-Shape's never been there. In the top 25. Hector Robles doesn't know how 20 questions works. It has to be yes or no, man. Yes or no questions. But good try. I like that. That's a good hack. Let's see. How much time do we have? 2 minutes. Was this by any chance a launch title?
It was not a launch title.
All right. I tried Neon Groove. Does this have any kind of rhythm element to it?
Game does have some kind of rhythm element to it, one could say.
I like that. Okay, so now, guys, everybody stick with rhythm. But now let's see. It can't be. There's no shooting, and there's no melee.
Combat. You said melee combat, just to be specific.
Okay. Do you dance in this game?
What? You can dance in this game? What? It's not like SingStar. Like what dance games do you have?
Okay. Does it have music by artists that we know, that we're familiar with? Is it real music in the game?
There's definitely real music in this game.
Okay. I think that brings us down to Synth Riders and Beat Saber guys. So the question is oh, that's a good one, Brax.
My time.
Is the Offspring in this game?
The Offspring is in this game.
My goodness. Is Muse in this game?
Muse is in this game. Be careful, you're at 17.
And only 4 seconds left. AJ, is it Synth Riders?
It is Synth Riders, which I don't know who got it first. I saw some fat underground Gamecat call it first. It is Synth Riders, man. I freaking love this game. I haven't played it in a minute, though. I need to go back and jump in. But yeah, man, love this game, man. Such a big fan.
Still
it doesn't have multiplayer, though.
It's so funny because when you said it doesn't have multiplayer, I immediately was like, it's not Beat Saber. And in my head, I also said, or Synth Riders. But
I know. I didn't want to give you any hints because I thought it was a pretty easy one.
But I totally forgot that we still haven't gotten the fucking multiplayer.
We don't have multiplayer, yeah.
When this game came out, like 8 months ago, 9 months, it was a long time ago, man. They were like, oh, it's coming really soon. We just don't want to put a date on it. And now we know why they didn't want to put a date on it, because it's still not here.
Now, when you said, do you dance in this game? I was like, ooh, how do I answer this one? Because I'm like, well, you can dance, but you don't have to. Like it's called a dance action rhythm game, so it's kind of like a blend of stuff. So I don't know. Yeah. I maybe could have answered yes on that one, but that's really up to you. You can dance, or you can just hold your hands out and really. So you can dance if you want to. Is what I'm saying.
Guys, we want to thank so many people, mostly you guys right here in the chat. We love you oh so very much. We also want to thank all the moderators who keep the channel and the Discord running super smoothly. Gotta love the moderators. They are amazing. They're doing God's work constantly. Also, Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry, who always, without fail, gets me timestamps for this show after the fact. And Jay Meow, who uploads it all to streaming services of your choice. Remember, if you don't like staring at me and AJ, you can always listen to me and AJ on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or streaming services of your choice. Thanks to Jay Meow. Also, hey, you know what? I never thank Hibsy enough. Hibsy is so good over on Discord about keeping the news channel up to date and being the first one there. Sometimes before I even know what's happening, news is there. Guys, thank you to everybody who hung out tonight. Thank you to everybody who contributed in the chat. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who helps us out on patreon.com/withoutprogames. And thank you to everybody who watches the show, sits back, sirens on my end, enjoys the show, doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. AJ, happy Friday, man. Can I cue the cat?
Happy Friday, Brian. Cue the cat, man, because I want to say happy Friday. Have a wonderful night and a great weekend. To JC, the inimitable dual Willie ass kick game cat. Let's go. Twitcher, the I Love Swordsman now game cat. Release the Kraken. Peter Taylor, thank you so much. Says hit the like button, Tarzan. Mark Smith, thank you so much, man. Some fat underground game cat. Nice guess, homie. Mark Smith, nice. Love you too, man. Johnny's No Pockets, aka the Who Dat Game Cat, says everyone's throwing shapes right now. Yeah, I think I set something off on everybody. Everyone's like, you can dance if you want to. Emily Baxter, hashtag the cartoony witch game kitten. Finally, I got it right. Says Stu the Cupid, cue the stupid, and then of course I screw up what she said. Cute to stupid hardwire. B Tribble doing God's work as always, sitting here hanging out with us, having fun in the chat. Says everyone thinking of safety dance now. You're welcome. Alberto Mapom, the game gatos. Everybody look at your paws. Secrets of.
That's awesome.
Cheers to you, my friend. Guyson, fist bump to you. Dark Angel, happy weekend to you as well. Happy weekend. Happy weekend. Happy weekend. Gabriel Double for the license. Meow. Game Cat. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Old Dart says, bye-bye. The Funkadelic Game Cat. What up, man? See you in Zenith as well.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Mike Kelly, thank you so much. Cerebral Foss, the Boop Cat. What's up?
Love it. Love it. Can you do the whole next show with the bye-bye voice?
Bye-bye. That's actually whenever I used to do that to somebody I would always talk on the phone with, and every time we leave, I go, bye. Like, it's the greatest way. It's the greatest way to say bye. Anyways, I turned a cool thing into a dumb thing now.
PSVR says, I always feel like you're talking directly to me with the comment about not saying a goddamn word. Well, PSVR, I was directly to you.
Yes. Atmos, what up, my dude? Jesse J, the Terror Mage Game Cat. Tell me my fortune. Or don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Rody, the Game Cat in the house tonight. Thanks so much, man. Yes. Sending all of our thoughts to those in Ukraine and across the world. Everybody affected by it. Sucks, man. War's never pretty. Ever. Brax Bro says, just like Star Tours. I don't know what Star Tours is, but it sounds like Star Wars. Emily Ben L of the Game Cat Army, nighty night to you, my friend. Imzadi, big heart goes out. Yes. Guys, have a wonderful, fun, safe, PSVR filled weekend, and we will see you on Monday, Chess for Giants.
And we'll see the rest of y'all in Zenith this weekend.
Who says 420 blaze it?
Hell yeah.
Nihilus Fry, the game feline.
Get your bongs out.
Love to you guys
smoke
as well.
With Chess for Giants.
Yes.
Meow.
Meow.